Next on AABJ's In Contact, thousands of journalists and media professionals converge on Las Vegas for the National Association of Black Journalists and National Association of Hispanic Journalists Joint Convention and Career Fair, held at Caesars Palace Hotel and Convention Center. From celebrity sightings to networking and trainings, this convention was a win-win for all. Highlights coming up.
Be informed, you gotta know what's going on in our community. So together we can make a change, you and me. Be in contact.
Welcome to AABJ's In Contact, Atlanta Association of Black Journalists award-winning public affairs program that brings you community news you can use. I'm Tyreek Wynn in for Paisley Moore. It's been a little over 2 years since the National Association of Black Journalists, or NABJ, has held its annual convention in person due to the pandemic. Well, this year NABJ teamed up with the National Association of Hispanic Journalists for a highly successful career convention in Las Vegas. Some 5,000 journalists turned out to the NABJ NAHJ 22. Its theme, Changing the Game. These two premier organizations meet up every few years for the joint convention outside of their regular annual conferences. AABJ members attended this year's big event, including myself, sharing with you some highlights from Las Vegas. At the convention, there were some celebrities who made an appearance. Sonia Richards-Ross from the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
This has been such a wonderful experience. I was invited by Disney for the Wind Down 5K run that's going to be happening in November. And when they told me they were going to have all the journalists here and the organization, I couldn't miss it.
Dougie Fresh made a surprise appearance at the Sports Task Force Scholarship Jam.
So listen close to what we say, 'cause it's like the thing happens every day.
Every few years, NABJ and NAHJ partner together to host a joint convention. This was one of those years. NAHJ member Eder Campuzano is looking forward to meeting some new people within the journalism industry.
I'm hoping to connect with some folks, learn a few things, and generally just see people in person for the first time in a while and get re-energized to go back out there.
At the convention, journalists were able to enhance their skills by attending some of the panels, sessions, and workshops. Some consisted of covering elections, on-camera presence, conducting good interviews, and more. The convention also had opportunities for Black and Hispanic journalists to land jobs within the industry. Journalists signed up for interviews with various companies like Gray TV, Tegna, CNN, ABC, NBC, and more.
We all haven't been in person since 2019 in Miami, so the excitement level is through the roof. You can feel it in every room, every event that you're at, and it's just amazing to have all of us here, people you haven't seen in years, all of the opportunities to network and get jobs. It really is amazing to be here.
Meanwhile, both NABJ and NAHJ are comprised of journalists, students, and media-related professionals. NABJ provides quality programs and services to advocate for Black journalists, and NAHJ does the same thing for Hispanic journalists. Collectively, the nonprofit organizations support all journalists, and the conference is open to all as well. Now, meanwhile, our AABJ Vice President of Broadcast, veteran television news anchor, reporter, producer Kim Betton also attended the convention. She coordinated 2 workshops that focused on breaking into the Hollywood film writing business, and also another workshop focused on moving from the newsroom to public relations industry. She has more in this report.
Thanks so much, Tyreek. The convention workshops were excellent all across the board, very beneficial, offering firsthand experiences and best practices for those who work in newsrooms and also in the workplace. There were several workshops on the NABJ, NAHJ schedule, ranging from investigative reporting, sports journalism, workshops for book authors, news management, just to name a few. As you mentioned, I volunteered on 2 workshops. One, I serve as an organizer and one of the panelists for the workshop called Making the Pivot from Journalism to Communications, Marketing, and Public Relations. This workshop highlighted how many journalists have transferable skill sets to use in the communications and public relations business. We also discussed the importance of students getting involved in internship programs to get hands-on experience. And the other workshop, I served as organizer and moderator. It was called Level Up, Flip Your Writing Career Over to Streaming Services and the Hollywood Big Screen. There was a lot of interest in this workshop as well. Our panelist, Hollywood film writer Monique Ian Matthews, is a 2021 NAACP Image Award nominee for her writing of the film A Holiday in Harlem on the Hallmark Channel. Our other panelist who joined us virtually is Lee Fuller. He is an actor who has appearances in various television shows, including CBS Bull, Good Girls, Annie, and Do No Harm. Topics of discussion were, of course, film writing, pitching your script to film executives, managing writing royalties effectively, the actor's read, meaning what do actors look for when reading a script or choosing a script. Other topics were copywriting, your screenplay, and funding films. Writing is a powerful passion for many, and it's the backbone to so much creative work. We spoke with Matthews after the workshop, and she offers some great advice to those who desire to get into the business of film writing.
Atlanta is the place to be right now for making film, and what I love about how the filmmaking community in Atlanta has grown is that it challenges the traditional notion of what you need to do to tell your story. Technology has made things much more affordable, and what we see coming out of Atlanta is people saying, no, our story is worth being told here. It's very inclusive. It's not saying, oh, Hollywood is one place and we can divert from there, so it's that diverse market, but there's so many opportunities, and I don't think we need to look outside of ourselves for the answers. If you want to write across mediums, it's really simple and it's really hard. 2 words, keep writing.
Thanks so much, Monique, for that important information. We look forward to continue seeing your excellence on the big screen. Next, we took our cameras over to a workshop to those who are interested in business startups, or for others who just need a refresher on small business development and freelance work. The main driving point here: starting your own business takes faith over fear. This was a workshop and luncheon all in one. Experts and business owners on the panel shared top tips for successfully managing finances for your small business and how to set goals and reach for the top in the entrepreneur space. We spoke with 2 of the panelists after the event.
One of my favorite things is your business plan. Having a plan in place to understand the idea, understand how you created the concept that is going to take that idea to the next level, and then more importantly, what financial information can you share with us, your banker, or even an investor, that your idea has the potential to really create the cash flow necessary to generate revenue?
I would think that first of all you have to have a passion for what you do, and the only other thing I would say is that not to let fear stop you, because going along the way we're going to have oppositions, but if it's something that is truly within inside of you, this business that you start can be the legacy that you leave for your family. So I would advise people to just go for it and find a bank that's going to assist you in every way that you need for them to assist you.
Another great opportunity at the NABJ, NAHJ convention was the workshops for the students. That's right. And this is really great for them because they are learning while actually doing the work. Professional journalists and PR experts worked with students to teach them how to write, produce, report, anchor, edit, and so much more. These students came from colleges and universities from all over the country. They actually report on events and programs taking place all throughout the convention. They tell us it's something they'll treasure for a lifetime.
It's been a blast, and I'm not sugarcoating when I say this. It's been the best week of my life, and I'm not kidding you at all. To have the trust of the mentors, the way they trust me, the way they put pressure on me. They put a lot of pressure, but as we all say, pressure is a privilege. So having that trust with the mentors, the relationships I'm building, the fact that the mentors are sometimes introducing me to people, news directors, people that they're friends with, for potential jobs in 2 years when I graduate, it's been absolutely phenomenal.
I've been fast-paced, working with the PR team, creating graphics, creating content to go on social media, and it's been a good experience to show me how it's going to be once I enter my career. So I love it so far. It's hands-on experience.
We want to give them a leg up. We tell them that they belong here, and when we say we belong here, you belong in those newsrooms. Your voice needs to be heard. So yeah, when we first start, the pressure that they get and the expectations, they don't like it. But in the end, they are very grateful for that. So what we put them through in about a week is immeasurable for what's going to happen for them when they're ready to go out into the real world.
The students produced televised newscasts that aired on the host hotel's room channel during the convention. And finally, it was so heartfelt when we lost WSB TV news anchor Jovita Moore, a longtime anchor here in Atlanta. She was a dedicated member of NABJ, a dedicated member of our chapter, Atlanta Association of Black Journalists. And during the convention, Cox Corporate, the owner of WSB TV, announced the Jovita Moore Scholarship Fund, a $25,000 annual investment to students studying broadcast journalism in remembrance of the legacy and life of Jovita. She is truly, truly missed. And those are just some of the highlights from the NABJ NAHJ 22 convention in Las Vegas. We appreciate sharing some of our experiences and highlights with you. Once again, we will convene next year for our annual convention, the NABJ convention in nearby Birmingham, Alabama. I'm Kim Betton reporting, and back to you in the studio.
Those are some very interesting workshops, and it was great to see the students in action. Thank you, Kim, for that report. I also must add that Kim recently won 2 Telly Awards, one for employee communications and another one for voiceover. The Telly Award is the premier award honoring video and television across the screens. Congratulations to her for that wonderful accomplishment. Still to come on AABJ's In Contact, finding that first job right out of college can be a little tough. We're going to speak to a local student who is one of few students AABJ selected to go to the conference this year to get a first-hand look at the media industry, to leverage connections for the future, and to participate in trainings. Plus, we'll also speak with Emmy Award winner and AABJ member Carvis Jones. He'll tell us about his recent Emmy win and more. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to In Contact, Atlanta Association of Black Journalists award-winning public affairs program. Today we're talking about our NABJ NAHJ convention that took place in Las Vegas in August. From job training to job creation, journalists were, this convention certainly opened doors for many, including students. Joining us now in the studio is India Rice, one of 4 students who was selected by AABJ and sent to the conference after completing an application and getting selected for the opportunity. India is a junior at Clark Atlanta University here in Atlanta, and she joins us now in studio to talk about her experiences at the convention. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you majoring in at Clark Atlanta University, and tell us a little bit about your college experience so far.
Okay, so I'm a junior mass media arts major, minoring in public relations and concentrating in radio, TV, and film. And just my time at Clark, I'm just learning all things about journalism, media, and just the mass media department in the multimedia field, and just figuring out what my niche is, and really just, you know, taking advantage of all that Clark has to offer.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so how is, like, you know, because I didn't go to HBCU, but how is the HBCU environment? What's it like over there?
The HBCU environment is one of the greatest experiences like that I would ever, you know, suggest in my life. Like from whether we're doing well-dressed Wednesdays to, you know, networking or just having a good time on the promenade, like it's just a family, and we're all there to just build each other up and ensure that we're going to the right places.
Okay, that's good stuff. I like that. So what are some of your career aspirations within the field of television and journalism?
Okay, so some of my aspirations would be, of course, to be on air, but also to be behind the camera, ensuring that, you know, the right narratives are being told, and that I'm also like a great, you know, leader and source for quality news, but also a leader for ensuring that the youth are being put in spaces to thrive, and, you know, they're being taken care of in a way that I haven't seen before. They're being given the media passes, they're being, you know, given the voice to speak, and I just want to be, you know, a role model for that, and push people to be able to do that.
Yeah, that is so true, because I can tell you, like, being a student, it was hard to get those media passes. It's hard to get in those events. So it's good that you're advocating for stuff like that. Yeah, because, you know, we need that. So as far as the NABJ, NAHJ convention goes, you were selected. So congrats to you on that. So talk about, what was the application process like?
So the application process, well, actually, like as we were talking earlier, I found out 2 weeks before the conference that I was going to be able to, you know, go. So I saw it, and I just basically had to write out some things and really just talk about why I want to go to the convention, you know, what my need was to be able to go. And it was just awesome. Like, it wasn't even that difficult. Like, the day of, I got the call that I would be able to go. So it was pretty smooth, and I'm just grateful I got the opportunity to apply.
That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. So what are some things that you took away from the conference? I know obviously you attended some workshops, panels, career fair and stuff. What was the biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway for me was really that journalism and the multimedia field is not just necessarily about one thing. It's not monolithic at all. Especially journalism as an African-American person is not monolithic. And I feel like it really taught me that I'm able to do whatever I want to do in this field and still represent it in a way that is still enriching and powerful, no matter what you do, whether you're in front of the camera, behind the camera, or, you know, on the sidelines rooting. Like, journalism, it's huge.
Yeah, okay. And so you're a junior, Clark Atlanta University, graduating in 2024. So did you feel like at the convention that you found contacts that are going to help you get that first job?
Yes, definitely. I've you know, networked with a lot of people and got a lot of contacts, especially with people from E! News, you know, Entertainment Tonight. I got to talk to some people from ESPN. So just being able to make those connections and ensure, like, later on when I'm searching for a job or just even advice, that there's someone there.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and it was great because I actually talked to Entertainment Tonight too, so I can see us being a host on there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, what was the best part about the convention? You know, we talked about your takeaways, the contacts you got. What was the best part?
The best part was just being able to be in rooms full of Black greatness and excellence, like, no matter what that looks like, just being able to know that the field that I'm going into is represented by people that look like us, and it's being dominated by people that look like us.
Yeah, yeah. And so, speaking of students and stuff, what's some advice you would give to your peers who are, you know, in school? Maybe we got some incoming freshmen or something like that, going throughout that college career. What's some advice you have for them?
Some advice I would, you know, have is, don't beat yourself up over the connections that you haven't made or the things that you haven't done. Just, you know, go out there, put your best foot forward, try to ensure that you're putting yourself in positions to be able to succeed, but know that not everything comes in an instant. You don't always have to be busy. Just, you know, take, you know, a time out of your day to just ensure that you're doing something good to propel yourself forward, and know that in due time, what's for you is going to be for you in this field.
That's a good way to put that. Yeah, what's for you is for you. I like that. And then you also do work with CAU-TV at Clark. So talk a little bit about that.
So CAU-TV is just one of the greatest things I've seen. Like, I haven't been able to be as hands-on as I wanted to, but just knowing that, you know, Brian and all the students over there are really just putting, you know, quality journalism together, like whether that be set design, anchors, no matter what's going on over there, it feels like the real world. And I'm so grateful that we have a department that ensures that we have real world experience before we get out there. So it's really dope. CAU-TV is everything I could even imagine.
Yeah, y'all got an amazing studio. I've seen some pictures and videos and watched some of y'all's newscasts. So yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so congrats to you guys on that. And then just to kind of close it out, go ahead and tell the audience where they can follow you, find you on social media.
Okay, please find me at India Sharice on Instagram. I also have my own blog, indiasharice.com, and my own clothing line, youngatl.com, and it's youngatl on Instagram and indiasharice.com on Instagram as well. Check me out.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, and make sure you stay connected with AABJ and keep in contact. We want to hear about your success.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, of course, no doubt. Still to come on In Contact, AABJ's Carvis Jones joins us here in the studio to talk about his recent Emmy win. Plus, he'll share more about great opportunities he too experienced at the NABJ NAHJ convention. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the show, guys, and joining us now is Carvis Jones, a member of AABJ and also former AABJ Vice President of Broadcast, who also attended this year's NABJ NAHJ convention. And more great news, Carvis is a two-time Emmy Award winner. The Emmy is considered one of the 4 major American awards for performing arts and entertainment. The others are the Grammys, Oscars, and the Tonys. Welcome to the show, Carvis. How are you?
I'm well, Tariq. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for coming on the show. So you have won 2 Emmys within your career. Tell us about these big wins.
It's awesome, and I'm still soaking it in right now, even after 2 months of winning it, my second Emmy Award. So basically, I won my second Emmy Award this past June for Hank Aaron Weekend for Ballot Sports South and Ballot Sports Southeast. So basically, we honor the life and legacy of Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, as you know, passed away last year, and this year the Atlanta Braves, there was Hank Aaron's weekend since the first time since his passing. So basically, we did a tribute to him and had an interview with Ken Griffey Jr., my colleague Brian Jordan, interviewed him about the state of baseball in the black community since blacks make up less than 10% of major league rosters, and just wanted to, talk to him about what needs to be done in Major League Baseball to attract more blacks into baseball.
Okay, awesome. Talk about some good stuff. I love it. So, obviously, it is a journalist's dream to win an Emmy Award. What does it take to get your hands on an Emmy?
It's a long process, I can tell you that. So basically, I do over 100 Atlanta Braves pregame and postgame shows every year, along with 50 Atlanta House pregame and postgame shows for our network. So basically, submit our best work throughout the year. So goes through the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, Atlanta chapter, the Southeast region, and so other stations around the region also submit their best work, and so it goes through a nomination process. And some networks, they get nominated and some don't. So basically, through the nomination process, we'll just wait and see if our nominations get a win. So basically, this is how that process works out.
Wow, awesome. Well, congratulations to you guys again. And shifting gears a little bit here, let's talk a little bit about the NABJ NAHJ convention held in Las Vegas in August. It was awesome. I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Absolutely. And since this was our first convention since 2019, since the pandemic, I hadn't got a chance to see a lot of people who I usually see at the convention. So it was a just should I say, had a great experience just to catch up with a lot of professionals around the industry.
It was just such a great experience, lots of workshops, panels, career fair. Out of all of the stuff that took place at the convention, what can you say was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was attending the inaugural NAHJ, should I say NABJ, NAHJ Sports Media Summit that was sponsored by ESPN.
News and sports, where do you see the industry going within the next few years?
Wow, that's a great question, because right now with the industry, going through a transformation right now where younger people are getting their news and information through their mobile devices, and they watching, games through streaming devices. So I think as more companies are going through streaming and digital, and it's going to be interesting to see how how the information gets disseminated. And I think we're still learning right now, because 15 years ago, high definition television was kind of like the next best thing, and even though they had their challenges at the beginning, but I think as more people get accustomed to streaming, I think it's going to be a great thing.
Okay, sounds good. Now, we have tons of students within Georgia who are college students, and obviously tons of students around the world who want to do what we're doing right now. So what's some advice that you could give to the students out there, seniors that are about to graduate, take that next step, looking for that first job?
Wow, that's so much to soak in. I guess first and foremost, I just tell college students to apply early, even in your last semester, because I know by the time graduation comes, that's kind of like going to be the time where TV stations are going to be looking at applicants, and then do your research on the networks and then the cities you think about wanting to move into, and like I said, research your markets and then research the companies, and just basically do your homework, submit your Emmy reels, should I say not Emmy reels, but your portfolio, and also your video reels. And then last but not least, just be careful what you post on social media, because some of the things they you post may end up coming back and hunt you, especially if you're looking for that next job.
That is
your
so
first
true.
job.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before to some people. And last but not least, so what can students do that are in school right now? What can they do while they're in school to prepare? I
just say join your college radio or TV station and newspapers, and just, you know, just learn a little bit about how journalism works. And I know it's a process. You're not going to learn everything all in one day, so it takes a process. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but just learn to be consistent, and then also just join organizations like the National Association of Black Journalists.
Good stuff and great advice for the students out there. So just to kind of close it out, go ahead and tell people where they can follow you and also how they can watch Bally Sports.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter at Carvis Jones, and also if you're an Atlanta sports fan, you can also watch Bally Sports South on your satellite or cable provider. Bally Sports South, the TV home of the World Series champion, the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Hawks. And also, if you're in the Southeast region, you can also check out the Nashville Predators, the Carolina Hurricanes of the National Hockey League, and even the Memphis Grizzlies of the NBA.
Awesome, fantastic, and thank you so much, Carvis, once again for coming on the show, and also thank you to India Rice as well for joining us as our special guest on the show today. Well, that's our show for now. We appreciate you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you stay connected, like Atlanta Association of Black Journalists on Facebook, and also our YouTube channel. We'll see you guys back here next month.